Hey, what's up? I'm Ashley. Thank you for watching this video, and today we're going to be talking about Dickinson, Season 3, Episode 8. And we're going to start things off by Emily finally realizing that her daddy is full of it. At first, she was blind, but now she sees. So when Mr. Dickinson asked Emily to be the executor of his will, she was happy. So she sat down and started writing everything he was talking about. But when he got to the part where he said everything, including the house, will go to his son Austin, she was shook. But not me. I wasn't surprised. And we all know that Austin does not mess with his daddy at all, but he will still be left everything. And even if he dies, his first son will get it. And Emily is heartbroken. She couldn't believe her daddy was telling her this. She was like, Austin was right, as she should. He was over here talking about how women can't be left anything. What would that look like? How would I look if I left my daughter everything? Boy, sit down. I'm glad Emily finally opened up her eyes and realized that Austin was right. And speaking of Austin, we all know that Frazier died, so Emily went to Austin's house to ask him to go to the funeral. Emily was telling him that he has to come because Father is speaking, and if you don't come, then it will make him look bad. Austin don't care about that. He was like, I'm staying home. I'm prioritizing my child. And if you had one, then you will understand. He hit below the belt. And he told her that you used to be unconventional, but now you're just like Dad. He said, run along, go hold Dad's hand because you did choose him after all. And closed the door right in her face. But she see now, at that moment she did it. But after that is when she found out how her daddy truly is. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about Emily, Mr. Dickinson, and Austin's situation. And now Frazier showed up at his own funeral as a ghost. And of course, Emily is the only one who could see him. And Frazier was telling Emily that the war was worse than he ever could imagine, and let her know that he didn't believe her when she was telling him that the family is doing just fine without Austin. So when Emily bumped into Betty, Betty let it all out, and Emily kind of got yelled at. After Emily asked her, how do you hold it all together? She was like, what makes you think I have time for this right now? She told her that she found out from the mailman that Henry joined the regiment and that they don't even have weapons. Helen is about to lose her father. Emily was telling her that she's so sorry and that she just got into a fight with her father. And Betty was like, I don't need your pity. I'm sorry that your family is so busy destroying itself, but the world has already destroyed mine. And Emily messed up even more when she was like, you gotta have hope. And Betty was like, hope is a lie. Spend one day in my shoes and you'll understand that. Go ahead and write all the poems that you want, but it won't change anything. I want nothing to do with hope. All hope has done is made me cry, and walked away. I said, ooh. So we see Frazier again, and he's standing in front of a grave with some steps with Emily. And it's something that looks like a tombstone that says, abandon all hope. Emily walks into the grave, and Frazier closes it behind her, and she goes off into this world that kind of looks like a dream. She ends up at her house, but it's a lot more dark, kind of grunge, and looks a lot like a horror movie. And while she's in this world, she sees Vinny there taking care of all of her husbands and trying to keep them alive, and she blames Emily for this. She told her that if I hadn't listened to you preach my whole life about being a free creative spirit, then I would have found true love. So I guess she's blaming Emily for all her husbands dying on her. And then she sees Austin, and he's trying to take her away. He's telling her that she needs to be locked up and that she's crazy, and he's blaming her for his failed marriage. Emily's telling him that she loves Sue. He was like, I didn't know you loved her like that. Then he tells her that all she cares about is her poems. She tells him that she loves him and Sue. He then tells Emily that his marriage is a disaster from all the poems that she writes Sue. Then she sees her mama in a baby crib, holding on to a baby, telling Emily that she's scared, she wants her mommy, and will she feed her? And then she sees her daddy in his office dead. This is like her worst fears, her anxieties happening. And while she's crying over her daddy, Sue comes in and asks her to dance and tells her that they can be together now. So they start dancing. It's not the best rhythm in the world, so some of it looks a little weird, but I'm here for it. Sue tried to kiss Emily 2 times, but Emily curved her both times, and Sue was mad. She fell down to the ground. Emily curved her so hard. She was like, don't touch me ever again. there was never any hope for us anyway. And also in this dream/nightmare world, Emily was on the battlefield. And while she was there, she saw Henry with the regiment going to war with the Confederates. She also saw that death horse and carriage, so bodies dropped. And Henry was almost one of them bodies dropped. He almost didn't make it out of there, but he pulled it together and pulled through at the very last second, but he did make it out alive, and the regiment ended up with the victory. So Emily was there. She saw all this play out, and she was rooting for Henry and the regiment, okay? And then we see Emily looking at this yellow bird that we've been seeing all season in the promo pictures and all that. And I'm like, what is this yellow bird? It probably indicates life or death or both. And then I just want to throw in that Sue is up to something. She went to the people at the newspaper and told them that she wants to submit something anonymously and handed them this piece of paper. My guess is she's telling the world that she loves Emily. She's not going to mention her name, but Emily's name is going to be all up and through there. But y'all let me know what y'all think Sue is up to. And that's about it. Let me know what you thought about this episode. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already and you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.